Yes, in terms of the money, this woman has paid, we're told in donations, close to £700,000 over recent years. The vast majority of that money has gone to the senior Labour MP, the former minister under Tony Blair's government, frontbencher in Jeremy Corbyn's shadow cabinet, Barry Gardiner. Now, it has totalled round about £500,000 that's gone to him. He says that he has not gained personally from any of that money, that he's very angry with what has happened here, and that the money was used to fund his parliamentary researchers. We'll go on a bit more to what Barry Gardiner was saying in a second, but I think just to recap on this, it is very unusual for MI5 to issue this alert, Nigel. It was alerted Parliament this morning. It was distributed to the heads of security, both the Commons and the Lords, then distributed to individual MPs and peers. That's how we got to hear about it. And they accuse this woman, Christine Lee, a solicitor based in London, of being a spy. Now, this is not spying in the sort of traditional way of thinking about it, the James Bond style stealing of secrets, but it's this grey area type of espionage that we've come to know of late. This, according to MI5, attempts to gain influence and to subvert, undermine the democratic process. That in itself very damaging, of course, to a democracy like the UK. Now, in that alert, Nigel, MI5 says that Christine Lee has knowingly engaged in political interference activities on behalf of the United Front Work Department of the Chinese Communist Party. The alert accuses Lee of having facilitated financial donations to serving and aspiring parliamentarians on behalf of foreign nationals based in Hong Kong and China. Now, one of those who received money in addition to Barry Gardiner was the now head of the Liberal Democrat Party. So as far as that, but that is tiny, that Ed Davey received, I think it was about £5,000 in comparison to the £500,000 that's gone to Barry Gardiner. Now, Barry Gardiner has been speaking this evening, says he's very angry about this, the way in which he's been used. He says he's been transparent throughout, though, that he had spoken to MI5 years ago about this because of the concerns that he had. Well, that begs the obvious question, doesn't it, Nigel? If you were so concerned that you thought you had to speak to our domestic spy agency, why on earth were you taking hundreds of thousands of pounds from this woman?
Yep, taking money and continuing to employ Christine Lee's son. Yes, I thought the fact that he said he'd been liaising with the security services for years was astonishing. It was virtually an admission that he knew he was working with a Chinese spy. I'm absolutely astonished by the whole thing. Mark, tell me, has there been any official response from the Labour Party on this?
From the Labour Party, I haven't seen so far. From the Home Secretary, yes, she says that she understands people will be understandably very concerned about this. She is liaising, as she does throughout, with the domestic spy agency MI5 and with the Metropolitan Police. Action is taken when appropriate, but there has been no action, as far as we know, that has been taken against Christine Lee, despite those in Parliament being told that she had indulged in illegal activities. And you mentioned, of course, her son. Well, her son was employed right up until this morning by Barry Gardiner, until he said he got a visit by the head of security for the Commons and two MI5 agents, then called him up and asked for his resignation. He also stresses that the money that was given to him by Christine Lee did not finance her son's employment as a researcher looking after his diary and his bookings.